Dear Cruz here, Life Applications Officer, good rambling. January the 8th. 7:38 here in Pittsburgh. 2023. Why do you and why do so many people hate white people? What's the real reason that Donald Trump needs to be racist? Now, as far as Donald Trump goes, that's not really, this video doesn't really apply, because Donald Trump, he is truly on his own, as far as he's hated by white people too, and he's not hated by white people because he's racist. That's a cover-up. That's fraud. That's what is that? That's a setup. When the camera's off, these people love Donald Trump, but because of, you know, doing whatever they want to do to win politics, you know, they'll throw Donald Trump under the bus. They'll run him over with the bus, okay, and leave him out there as roadkill. You know, if that means that, you know, they can get his money and you know, but these white folks that are hating on Donald Trump, if Donald Trump was around years ago, well, then again, they did kill Abraham Lincoln. They did assassinate Abraham Lincoln. That was some Donald Trump crap right there. They pretty much assassinated Abraham Lincoln for the same reason you want to assassinate Donald Trump. But the whole thing against Donald Trump is more of a game. It's a game, you know. So far, they haven't really done anything to Donald Trump that he can't heal from, okay? And if they do find a way to lock him up and charge him for not paying his taxes on time or whatever, which I don't think they will, or they would have in the beginning before he ever got in office the first time. You know, if they do it, it will be because that's between me and Donald. You wouldn't understand. I understand why. I understand Donald. I understand him, and I understand that the hatred for him is because he's holding y'all up. He's holding y'all up to try and do something. And even if, you know, totally against the nature of God and his people, I mean, even if you can find it okay to do things the way we've been doing them, you know, since Biden been in office and before Biden got in office, okay, even if you find solace in this, you find this, you know, comfort and ease in this nonsense, okay, it is still the most corrupt scandal ever. It really is. It really is. White people hating white people today, and namely people like Donald Trump, in particular is the biggest cover-up and the biggest, you know, when white people go to hating people like Donald Trump, I don't care whether it's for your black behind because they tired of being racist or whatever it is, you know we're in trouble. Because even black folks understand that even black folks are laughing at white folks for hating Donald Trump. They can understand if you want to stop racism and you want to say something good, you know, in favor of black people and help black people, you know, rise to that plateau that they've never got to yet. That's fine, but you got to be out of your mind to be a white man and hate Donald Trump. You got to be an idiot. You got to be an idiot to be a white man. I can understand black folks who are misinformed like they've been misinformed all my bloody goddamn long life. But to be a white man and stand up in front of black people and say you hate Donald Trump, you just gave our country to the ghetto, man. You just gave our country to the very thing that your mama and your daddy used to uphold for. You used to, you know, save your cities and your towns and, you know, save your money from. You just threw your culture under the bus. White people are falling apart. And they're being lied to. It's not because, you know, black people finally got an edge on you. It's not because you really care about black people. It's not because of all these political things. You know what's going on here? This is very spiritual. Donald Trump, in my book, is not a Christian. But what he is talking about and what he is trying to uphold, even the fact that, you know what I'm saying, he was in the office of the former president. I don't know if other presidents been in the office of the former president as long as he have. Like when Obama stepped out of office, I didn't really see. You know, he pops up every now and then, but I didn't see him, you know, all over the news. When he ain't saying nothing, he ain't doing nothing, all over the news when he stepped out of office. But this man, even what Donald Trump is talking about and doing now, is very spiritual. Even though I don't consider him a Christian. He's very, very spiritual and godly understanding about what needs to be. Now, let me get on so I don't make this a long video, but there are three kinds of white people. Okay, and I understand them all. Okay, I understand them all. I don't... Y'all don't... These white people ain't doing nothing that you wouldn't do if the shoe was on the other foot. I mean, it's not like every white man is programmed to be a racist. It's not like every white man is programmed to hate black people. And again, it's not about black and white. It's about territorialism, if I'm saying that word right. It's about, this is my space over here. What part of this is my space? Can I get this? Can I get this space right here? Why are you invading this space? It's about invading spaces. It's not about black and white. And that's one of the things I like about white people, because white people know that okay, racism as far as slavery, yes, that was wrong. But that don't mean because you got your freedom, you get to invade my space. See what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, be free, but don't invade somebody else's space. And white people, if they stole this country from the Native Americans, you better learn your history and read before America. Read your Bible, read your historical books. When you steal, it's called broadening your territory. When you take somebody else's land, you just took somebody else's land. It don't make you evil. Or we wouldn't be sitting up here talking about it and using it as a joke, or talking about it in the news or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Native Americans wouldn't even live in this land if it was evil. Like, white folks can't just kill people. They got to take everybody's land and let them live on it. No, you can just kill them and have it all to yourself. You ain't got to share it. I'll show you that in the Bible. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't do that in the Bible. And there were times when they were supposed to kill everybody, and they left them alive, and God said, well, now see what you done did. Now they're gonna come back and bite you. You should have did what I told you to do. Wipe them all out. Now I understand why we try to. You know, we're living in a day and a time when we don't have to do that anymore. So I understand. But there is, you know, in order for this country to have 50 states, these white folks had to do something right. Now, when we say white folks, I really don't know if we're talking about French people, English people, or Colombian people. That's the part I don't understand, because I really don't think, if I remember correctly, the actual people that stole this land supposedly from the Indians, they wasn't just no plain Jane white people. Then again, the reason why they call themselves white people is because of Jim Crow. Jim Crow gave white people that name of being white, and black people that name of being black, because white folks and black folks were the only ones going at it. Okay, the Indians that lived here, the Native Americans that were still living here, the other Asian nations that were living here, you know, and all like that, you know, they weren't going at it. They was taking their share of segregation, being segregated, being mistreated, or whatever, knowing that one of these days the good Lord Jesus is going to deliver them. They didn't fight back. The black folks fought back because they got the heavier end of the stick, and I understand that. And I would have, if I was in the civil rights movement. I don't know if I would, you know, throw white women down the steps in the schools like one of my relatives told me he used to do. But I would fight back. You know, I mean, if you're going to put your hands on me, yeah, that's some white nonsense right there that we can turn the whole thing into the ghetto and beat you behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to be sicking dogs on us, and I understand all that. But, however, my mama, and don't blame me for just, you know, blame my mama, because my mama raised me that way. I watched my mama love white people. Not like a puppy loving its human master. You know, animals loving their masters, or you know, no, my mom, living in the neighborhood that we lived in at that time, which today is a ghetto. The worst ghetto in Pittsburgh. But back then, it's like, if you come to Pittsburgh, you got to go there too. That's part of Pittsburgh. You got to go to that. You know, when people came to Pittsburgh back in the day when I was a little guy, they had to get on a trolley and go right up to McKeesport. They had to. Okay, because McKeesport was another part of Pittsburgh, right outside of Pittsburgh, that was just beautiful. Beautiful. And, you know, so much to see, so much to do, so much shopping to do. It was an awesome place. And I watched McKeesport come apart right before I left McKeesport. But even back then, when I left McKeesport was a better place than a lot of these inner city or inner towns of Pittsburgh. A lot of these ghettos outside of Pittsburgh and in Pittsburgh and you name it. That's one of the things I hate about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, in general, has more ghettos than historical towns and all like that. Nobody with a brain really comes here for anything but, you know, to go to a funeral. You know, I mean, we got people coming here for their honeymoon. I'm thinking, don't talk to me. I don't want to see your little family pictures and all like that. You just disgust me. You make me sick. There's nothing here for you. You could have went to Ohio and got a better honeymoon than this. God, what you come here for? I wouldn't. And I'm scared to leave Pennsylvania. But if there's other places in Pennsylvania that make Pittsburgh look like what it is, the ghetto. Okay, I've been there. Shoot, send me out to a ranch and put me on a horse. Right up here in Somerset or something. God, in the most racist town you ever want to be in. But hey, I like it better than Pittsburgh. Okay, because ain't nothing but Crips, creepies up here. You know. Anyway. There's three kinds of white people, and I love. There's only one that I steer clear of, and it's mainly the one that today will throw another white person under the bus, knowing that you don't give a rat's ass about no goddamn black people. You're a liar. You're about as racist. You're about as racist as I am ghetto. Wait. You're about as racist as I am Republican. Or you're about as racist as I am black. How about that? Yeah. You don't give a darn about black people. You're a liar. And without Donald Trump in office, I don't trust your white behind any more than I trust a lot of these black people out here claiming that Donald Trump is racist. And it ain't because you really think Donald Trump is racist. It's because you sell your people under the bus while you practice racism against black people. You're going to tell us where to live and tell us how not to make money. Tell us how not to get wealthy. Tell us how not to depend on ourselves instead of the government. And then you're going to sit there and throw Donald Trump under the bus. I've met you people. I sit down and talk with you people. You sitting there talking about you sitting there talking about what I need and what I don't need. Like I need you to tell me that in the first place. I'm a human being. I'm 56 years old. You don't tell me what I need and tell me how to manipulate people, manipulate the government. How come you ain't manipulating the government? Why are you telling me to do stuff that you ain't doing, white boy? You ain't doing it. Why are you telling me to do it? You want to see me get mad at some white people? There's two types of white people that I get mad at, and I'm gonna go through them right now. First of all, let's go to the softer side first. There's three kinds of white people. Okay? There's two I appreciate. One I steer clear of. Just mention them. One I respect, but I give them plenty of space. Let me explain. white people are the face of America. They're the only ones in this country that are respected as Americans. That doesn't bother me. Okay? Because just like other people had to come over here on a visa and become a citizen, I had to go through slavery to become a citizen. They're not going to look at me when they had to come here on a visa. I get a free ride because I was a slave, or my ancestors were slaves, or I get a free ride because of Jim Crow or whatever. They call it getting rid of racism. So it's like, you're in bed with the Chinese and the Japanese, you're in bed with India, you're in bed with the Arab nations, you're in bed with black people. Because you feel you owe all these people something. And I understand it. I understand it. But help me out, Donald Trump. On the other flip, I don't. And Donald Trump's right. This is what's wrong with America. We think we owe everybody. If we're letting people come over here and find solace, we've already done enough. Matter of fact, we've done too much. It's one thing for black folks to come over here based on slavery, or to be here based on slavery. It's another thing for us moving into more and more time, and we got more and more commitments to all these foreign peoples. That's another thing. And it ain't helping. Donald Trump's right. We need to come to a place to where we are the wealthy and richest nation in the world and the most freest nation in the world. We don't owe nobody squat. The Bible says, owe no man nothing but to love him. Yes, we should be loving you and helping you. But owing you? No. No. We shouldn't be owing nobody nothing. Just like Donald Trump said, push come to shove, we don't need to depend on these other nations for oil. We know how to get oil. We know how to get, how much technology do we need to go into the next phase of technology? So what? If we decide to cut off the Chinese, okay, or the Japanese, whichever one it is that's in running our technology, okay, it'll put us behind the time a little bit. But just like they spend so much time on technology that they come to this higher level of technology, we can do the same thing. But we're in bed with them. We went from working with them to being in bed with them. We're in a cell with these people while they own us. And then you wonder why I like people like Donald Trump. Because this is pathetic. We got to do better than this. But these white people, let me talk about these white people. I was watching a video yesterday about, I was complaining on one of my other channels yesterday about the Hebrew Israelites. And this boy, these Mormons came to see him and talk to him about what they feel is the love of Jesus. And he decided to go to the things that they ain't trying to talk about and tell them about, well, God didn't die on the cross for the Mormons. These white people, he didn't die on the cross for them. God is against them. He's not for them. God only loves black people. Okay? Because black people are not black people. They're Jews. You're right. Black people are not black people. That's some Jim Crow crap. Been trying to tell you that. Black people have a race. They have many races. White people are many races. They ain't white either. They got a race. We all got races. There's this black woman yesterday I watched. I thought it was a boring video. But then when she was talking about, because she was doing, she sat there with her, you know, 3 daughters, and they decided to go over their, what do you call that, DNA testing to find out where they are originally. And each child had one extra C in her, you know, in her lineage that her sister didn't have. Okay? And they had everything in there. They had Italian, they had Africa, they had Europe. Well, it wasn't Europe, it was in Europe. Forget what group of people. Well, European, I'm sorry, European. They had European, they had, you know, they had Spanish, you know, they had the whole globe within mom and her 3 daughters. Okay? And the part that I did enjoy was that there is always by the father, there is always, there's scores under each genetic code. So, then the father is always, you know, it's the father's DNA that really counts. So, you know, some scores are higher, and the scores that are higher usually match. So this idea that people need to make a big deal about they used to be Italian, they used to be white, they used to be black, they used to be this or whatever, don't make no sense to me. Okay? You are where you live and how you've been raised, and you are who your parents are. Your parents. Not your grandparents, your parents. Because as you go to your grandparents and keep going back in time, okay, it doesn't change common sense. As you go to your grandparents and keep going back in time, the code spreads out. And so you got these small numbers of, oh, I'm 20% Italian. Okay, who cares? You don't look Italian, you don't act Italian, you don't speak Italian, you don't know how to cook Italian. Who freaking cares? Okay, you black. Okay? Don't nobody Italian want you. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, where are you going with this? You know, it's nice to know, but, you know, white people got the same codes. Oh, I'm part white, I'm part Italian, I'm part black, I'm part Indian, part Arab, part Africa, okay? But you're white. You act white, you smell white, you talk white, you live white, you know. Okay, before I make this video long, let me get to it. White people are the face of America. They are. Ain't nobody, when people think of America, they think of white people. Okay? They don't think of all the immigrants in this nation. And when you outnumber all these white people, when people think of America, they think of white people. Even you know what I'm saying? Now, I can understand, you know, like this guy, I watched a video today about, you know, it was a short about this African guy talking about how, you know, everywhere you turn, white, and I agree, white people shouldn't, you know, like Africa, my personal opinion, the only people that should own property, the only white people that should own property in Hawaii is the farmer. Is the person that is supplying product to the African people, feeding them. You know, the only people that should own property of another race in Africa are people that are building technology, to build in agriculture, architecture, you know what I'm saying, creating the food, creating hospitals and biology, military, protecting the Africans and that kind of stuff. Yeah, you should own property in Africa, despite all the poverty that's in certain parts of Africa. But you should not be over there doing to the Africans, taking it to an advance of what you're already doing here in America. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, and they don't only do it in Africa, they do it in Mexico. They do it, now that I agree. Like, y'all need to chill out with that. Like, quit going everywhere and making it a white thing. Quit going everywhere and making people of another nation bow down to you and need you. Why don't you go and teach people how to have something and then leave? Now, but if the African people don't want to learn how to be doctors and lawyers and do agriculture and architecture, if they don't want to sit down and learn and understand it's going to take a few years for them to get this right, okay, they're going to have to humble themselves and learn, then hey, welcome to the ghettos of America. Y'all ain't no better than black folks. Okay, you don't want to listen, you don't want to learn nothing because the dude that's teaching you is white. Okay. I'll be glad. You know what? I'll be the only one in the classroom, okay? I'll listen and learn. That's the way I was brought up, okay? My mom didn't have no problems with white people. My mom, when we lived in McKeesport, my family don't know this, neither does my church. My mom had one black friend. And then she had Miss Jones, who was biracial, okay? And then everybody else was white. Okay, most of my friends were everything but black. They was white, Spanish, African, Hawaiian, Asian. They were all, the whole, all right, until I moved to Pittsburgh, and then everything was black. And I realized when you paint everything black, it begins to be a problem, because black people are not here. They were slaves. You cannot do this on your own. If a white man was in your shoes, he wouldn't be able to do it on his own either. It's okay to need help to elevate yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But no, you're looking at it like, oh, for somebody of another race to help me, you're putting me down. But okay, why is it that black people, black kids, hate their school teachers? Okay? Black fathers and mothers don't want white people helping their kids, be taught by white people, especially once they get out of school, okay? Or, if white people show any distance to their black kids, it's George Floyd all over again. Okay? How come we say we have all these good reasons to hate white cops. Okay. What about black security guards? What about that? I know a lot of people. I've been in security a long time. And if I ever have trouble, okay, if I ever have trouble with a suspect, if there ever is a suspect, if there ever is somebody that wants to fight with security, it's always a black dude. Dude, I got no jail to put you in. I got no gun. I got no taser. You're not about to blame me for shooting you and call it racism. This ain't got nothing to do with cops. Okay? It's got to do with you. Because if it was just about white cops, what you hating on me for? I ain't white. And I ain't no cop. I don't even have a gun. I don't even have a taser. And whatever else is on my belt besides my phone and my badge is for my personal protection. It ain't to arrest nobody, okay, or kill anybody. And in an event of an attack, you'll probably do more harm to me than I will to you, and you know that. That's why you acting up in the first place. But yet, oh, it's about white cops. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because if it was about white cops, you would be glad to see a black cop. You would be glad to see a black security guard that ain't even got a gun. Donald Trump and white cops are being lied to. You come on my property that I'm protecting. This is not even out on the street, brother. This is not even out on the street. This is private property. And you come in there and I'm not even saying anything. I'm just watching you like, you know you ain't supposed to be in here, but I'm not going to say nothing. I just got to keep my eyes on you. You know you shouldn't be in here. Okay, but take a piss. Okay? Make a mess in my bathroom. Like you got no respect. You know, we got this Haitian dude. He came in, you know, in my site one day, and I'm standing there talking to this white dude. I'm giving this white dude directions by the bathroom. He come off the street. He wanted to use the restroom, so he don't speak English very well, so he's switching me out of the way. Well, I got the message. He's being ignorant in you know, because he don't know English, and if he did know English, he would probably, you know, who knows. So I backed up. Okay. You ain't supposed to be in here. I didn't say that, but he ain't supposed to be in here, but let him use the restroom. Okay? So I'm sitting down in a chair, sitting there, giving people direction. Yeah, you got to go here, go around the corner and all like that. He comes out of the bathroom and sees me and gets mad and starts sticking his middle finger up at me and everything, grabbing his crotch and stuff. And then the ladies are coming down to use the restroom, and he's throwing kisses at them and stuff because they were like African, you know, all the African ones. He hates the white people, thank God. But all the African women are like, help! he literally looks like the kind of thing you hear, you know, about, you know, you hear in Europe, you know, going around attacking white women and raping women everywhere they can and all like that. But, you know, I never have that with white people. White people, they live on the street too. But white people are the face of America. And even though white people are changing, you're still being beat by white people. They're still the face of America. Even though they're split into 3 types of white people now. Okay. The first kind of white person is, hey son, welcome to America. Is there some way I can help you, sir? Well, son, let's get you some clothes. Let's get you a place to stay. Are you able to work? How well is your English? Do you have any skills? What kind of work was you doing back home. Like, how may I help you? You got them kind of white people. The majority of them are Christian. Second group of white people is the ones that hold their belt buckle when they talk to a black man. I'm an American. I'm a conservative American. Yeah, you're right. It's these conservative ones that have a habit of having the sundown cities, but actually it's the mixed multitude that has, because I think the Ku Klux Klan are Democratic. Okay? But here's the respect. Well, I'm an American. I don't know what you come here for, what you think we can do for you, boy. But boy, if you think you can get up there and load that truck in about 45 minutes and unload it when we get to the stop in 30, I believe I might have a job for you, son, brother, boy, whatever you like to call yourself. I believe I have a job for you. Okay? Now now I can't put you in the driver's seat, but maybe down the road when I become the boss, maybe I'll let you drive the truck. Maybe I'll let you be a leader down the road. Okay? Then we have the third type of white person, and this is the one that I mentioned earlier that pisses me off. Hey. If I were you, I would go to the welfare office and get everything you can get, okay, before you go out there and try to get a job. And then when you get the job, you'll have all this money, you know. Hey, I can understand why your wife would want to get an abortion. Don't feel bad. It don't mean you don't love kids. It don't mean you hate kids. If your wife want to get an abortion, hey, we're going to open up this place for all races. I'm not into rap music, but if you want to rap, come on in here and rap. You can do your rap right here. We're not into rap music, but maybe some people show up. If it make us some money, we're down with it. Hey, I'm going to get down on one knee because Black Lives Matter. I've seen what you people go through. Okay? Yeah? What neighborhood you live in? Oh, you'll never go there. You'll never see it. You're not even allowed in. But it's okay. Black Lives Matter. Where do you live at? I really don't want to talk about that. But Black Lives Matter. And we can be friends. I got your back, man. I got your back. I got your back. You don't need to get an education. I understand that education is not fair, and neither can you afford it. So don't put yourself down. You know, don't let them overwork you. You have a right to find a good job without education. Okay? You have a right to not have to have a driver's license or a state ID. because I understand that Black Lives Matter. I understand what you people go through. It's not your fault. It's our fault, and we apologize. That last one to a lot of black people was like, question mark, like, what's wrong with that? That's holding you back. It's not helping you any. Okay, that's holding you back. And those are the people I give, now I respect people that, the second one, I respect the second group of white people who, they ain't got nothing against black people, but they feel that they have a right to be segregated for their own protection. They feel that America belongs to them. So if black people are going to live here, they need to have their own space, their own communities, and all like that. I understand them I understand those kind of white people, but I don't agree with them. Okay? The last one I steer clear of. Because they make me so mad. But the first one, that's who I roll with. Those are the white people that made me love white people. The ones that were willing to be so close to me, they got me babysitting their kids. They were so close to me that they talk to me like I'm one of their kids. They're so close to me that if my mama don't whoop me for being bad, they will. They're so close to me that they'll step in front of traffic to protect me. They're so close to me that whatever their kids do, they make me do. Whatever they feel is right for their kids, they feel is also right for me. I had a friend, his name was Brother Cook. I'm going to do a part 2 of this video. I had a friend, his name was Brother Cook. I forget his name. I think it was Dan or John, but I was a camper when my mother died, and he felt really bad for me when my mother died, knowing that my father was not in my life because he died first. And Brother Cook adopted a baby. She was still white, but she was from clear across the country. And she had a little accent. He adopted this little girl, and he taught the little girl not to call me black, but to call me brown. So Brother Cook also taught his sons to treat me like a brother. They took that a little bit too seriously, to the point where I was ready to punch them. Oh, they treated me like a brother. Okay? So, the first time the little girl was allowed to answer the door, he called me over, told me to meet him there at the cabin at such and such a time. I showed up, and the little girl saw me at the door. She says, "Papa, your little brown man is here." Cutest thing ever. And he was so used to, like, calling everybody black that was black, which there's nothing wrong with that, because that's, I mean, you can't help it unless we all get together and make rules about this. It don't matter, and I don't really care. I am black. I don't care if you call me black, because the first time she met me, she called me black guy. The second time she answered the door, it was like I'm her little brown man, But she was a little sweet little girl, and Brother Cook's sons took it too far, calling me their brother. because they did everything to me they did to each other. And I'm thinking, my black behind about to go ghetto on you folks. Like, don't be shooting those spitballs at me and calling me stupid, okay? And they went too far with the whole brotherhood thing. I had to like ease off a little bit, because the tallest one started treat me like he treats his little brother, and his little brother used to cry. And I'm thinking, you done went too far telling your sons to treat me like flesh and blood, because I'm feeling some flesh and blood, all right, and I'm about to get my flesh and punch somebody. But they loved me. They treated me really good. And that's the kind of thing that will turn a black man into a conservative. It's when you meet people like this who understand. Because, in my life, a lot of white people that I've met, I posted, and I'm closing, I have to say this, then I'm going to close. I'm going to do the rest of this in another video. I posted this thing online today in YouTube land. This girl that I'd married, this black girl. She kind of ghetto in the way she's all loud and drunk, but she's speaking the truth. But there was a few things I disagree with her about, like as far as segregation, stuff like that. I'm not cool with segregation. But anyway, I posted something she said last night, when I was watching her last night, and I said, well, white people are afraid of black people like black people are afraid of snakes. Okay? They don't really trust us. Why should they? Okay, the way everything that's been going on, why should they? Okay? Everything that's been going on. Okay? But I says, I've never met a white person that I couldn't tame to like me. And when, jobs I've had, these tutorial, like I said before, white people who think that, oh, we got this black guy here, they think they know you. They think they know how you're going to carry yourself and how you're going to act. Okay? And if anybody has ever called me the N-word, jokingly or angrily, okay, they were dealt with immediately. Okay? But other than that, there's people I had trouble with, and they thought that I was going to set it off up in there with my little self and try to burn the place down. No, I did what they do to each other. I went to the boss and I said, this is what's going on. Do I need to record it for you? This is what's going on. And the boss, without embarrassing them and making it look like a racism explosion, he would say, and he'd bring them into the office and he says, you know what? Don't do that, because if you're going to talk like that, if you got a problem with him, you come to me like he came to me about you. Okay? You talk to me. You don't say the wrong things. And there were times when I got the bad end of the stick because they lied. And they tried to use my work performance against me, but when the boss is walking the floor, he come out there, hey, where's Ted? Where's Ted? He sent me out here. You been out here for an hour? Yeah, I don't know where he's at. Oh. Okay. Ted got busted. It's called patience. You gotta let the Lord fight your battles. And my mama taught me that. Even with white people. When white people are racist against me, like that, I understand that I'm the minority. I walk in there and I see I'm the only black person. I'm outnumbered by all these white people. The last thing I'm gonna do is act a fool. If I can't get the boss to intervene for me, somebody can intervene for me because they hired me. So somebody got to take my side, or they wouldn't have even hired me. right? And I remember working at United Parcel Service when I was married, way back, in the middle of my marriage, like way back. And there were white people there that from a town I really love, white people from Ford City, you know, Katanning, Apollo. Well, the UPS center we were at was in Apollo. And this white girl who liked me, she wanted me to meet her at the restaurant for breakfast after work one day, and that didn't go so well. People just came in and sat at our table and acted like I wasn't there, and but she said, "Hey, have you met my friend D-Roy?" You know, but I've never met a white person that I can't tame to like me. And some of the most racist white people I've ever met, give them a little bit of space after being scolded once. You ain't got to scold them twice. Scold them, give them some space, and they'll come back. One of the guys that I used to fight with, back and forth, he used to say some of the racist stuff to me. And one day I went back to my old home. I went back to New Kensington to see my girls. And this was about a year or two ago. No, this was about 3 or 4 years ago. I went back to New Kensington. Yeah, this was right after I moved to Pittsburgh. I went to New Kensington one day. I'm in the supermarket, Giant Eagle, and some dude just ran up to me and grabbed me before I could even look to see who he was. He gave me this big hug and he said, "D-Roy, I miss you." And I turned around and looked at him. I said, "You racist mother," you know, because he was the most racist person that I ever, you know, well, not racist person, but he used to say the most racist stuff, you know, make jokes, you know, a black man can't have a gun unless he steals it, you know. That was the thing that really, that was a straw that broke the camel's back right there. That made me mad, you know. But, and ever since he said that, I was mad at him. And then, you know, he tried to be nice and ride me back and forth to work when my car was in the shop. And he would say stuff, and he felt, you know, he would wait till we got in the car until we're on the road, and he would say stuff knowing that I might get pissed off and tell you to just drop me off on the highway. I'll find another way home. I really don't want to be dropped off on the highway in this Doochie neighborhood with all these, you know, with all these rednecks around, so to speak. You know, ain't no telling where they gonna bury my behind, you know. But I've never met a white person that I cannot tame to like me. Okay? Because of the way I carry myself. Knowing that there's 3 types of white people. Okay? And when you got a white person that's a Democrat who wants to tell you how to baby yourself, okay, that's the most dangerous white people you can be around, because trust me, they're very racist. Don't let them fool you. They're very racist. Then you got white people who, I meet them at my job every day. I'm an American. You know, go on away. We got this. No, you ain't got this. You know, but they're not violent. They're you know what I'm saying? You know, they ain't got, you know. And then we got the Christians. Half of the first group, matter of fact, the majority of the first group are Christians. And you know, I said this in a video this week too, about the same black woman. You know, she I lost my train of thought because I'm trying to get out of here before 60 minutes. It don't look like I'm gonna do it. She quoted something on her page, on her channel, and you know, I don't forget what I was going to say. I'll say it in the next video. God bless you. I am D-Roy Cruz, your life applications officer. Thank you for watching. But stop hating on white people. Okay? You know, I know why you hate white people, and the reason why you hate white people is because white people are totally American, and you're not ready to be that yet. Admit that you're not ready to be that, and give them that space to be that. That's what I do. Okay? Admit that you're not what you need to be. Don't hate them for being it. Don't hate them for being what everybody should be. Okay? I got more to say about this. I'll say it in another video. Good rambling. Talk to you soon with more.